Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2Have 2Role podcast. My name is Oliver. Today, Robin and I are talking to Saucefiretv. Sauce is an award-winning dungeon master, video game streamer, and he is the game master for Mercy Road, something that he came up with. It is a 24-hour charity stream, which Sauce DMs continuously, is one continuous D&D game, one dungeon master, many players. He is a good friend of ours. I always enjoy any time I can spend chatting to him. We always have a good time and a good laugh. So, without any further ado, we bring you Saucefiretv. Okay, so we're all good to go. Why don't we start with that? Well, first of all, I'm not going to do it. What I'll do is I'll do like a pre-recorded intro, because I always think it's really awkward when people are like, "Oh, introduce yourself," and it's just like, "Well, we've invited you on," so I'll explain to everyone who you are and who you're.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
Who
I
are
want
your?
you to be awkward.
Yeah. So we have this guy. We want answers. This is why we bring him on.
We found him.
We found him. We're going to bring you the answers today.
Ladies and
True crime
gentlemen.
podcast.
So that's a good place. So Saucefiretv. How did you come up with the name for that? Where's the origins of the name Saucefire?
Well, Saucefiretv is because somebody's squatting on Saucefire Twitter.
Oh,
and
right.
so that rapscallion knows who he is, and I hope that he's listening right now.
So you just added TV. Was the plan ever? Did you just go, "Oh, I want Saucefire," but also,
Yeah,
I have to add something. I'll add TV, and then you're like, I'm gonna have to make media now.
Well, I was Saucefire on literally every other platform, even on Instagram, but I deleted that one back in ye old days. And then, but back in 2009,
Yeah.
I had just picked up an Xbox, and I was going to play Halo 2, Halo 3 with my friends. And
In the day.
Back in ye olde days. In fact, I think I have that copy right. Oh no, that's ODST. That's somewhere.
You blow the dust off it. This ancient relic.
My Xbox 360 still works. But I wanted something that was food related and also vaguely combat related.
Yeah.
So I went with Saucefire because it sounds like Crossfire. Originally, it was going to be Spaghetti About It, but I was worried that would be too many characters.
Yeah.
That's hard to say.
Yeah, spaghetti. Yeah.
Forget about it.
Spaghetti about it.
Forget about it.
That's less combat-y as well, right? That's
That's a little less combative.
yeah.
But yeah, that is, and with that, Saucefire was born. It's because there was this show I was watching a lot at the time called Fighting Foodons. I don't know.
I have no idea what that is.
It was like an anime, but I think it was like a Pokemon or Digimon sort of style show.
Yeah.
Just the monsters were like food monsters.
Oh, right. I mean, yeah, to be fair, I remember a lot of that in like 90s cartoons. There seemed to be a lot of like Western cartoons as well. There was lots of people or anthropomorphized. Hang on, is that the right term for food? People, food that were people.
Yeah, food people.
Yeah, food people.
But no, there was like fighting food. There was a lot of shows like that,
Yeah.
like Monster Rancher, Metabots, and I had kind of moved on past that. But the group I had kind of got in with in college was really into it. So I was just like, okay, I'll just keep going with this.
So did you have like a team? You were trying to make a team of kind of food combat based names, or were you just like out on your own being like, I'm just going to choose this name?
I think I was just like, these are the two things occupying my headspace, because I was I was a starving college student, so it was just like anime in one brain cell and then food on the other one.
Yeah. So you couldn't...
Nowhere in between was it what I was studying, which to this day I can't even tell you. It's all just a blur.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I hope it was D&D related.
Who needs it? Yeah, surely.
I love the fact that you went for sauce as well. The fact that it's like this, poor college student just being like, I finally got some food. If only I could have some sauce with it.
Only I could.
Or yeah, I have a choice. I either have the sauce or I have the food. It's
Just
one.
look in my fridge. It's just soy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. It's a very common thing for content creators just to have the origin of their name just be the gamer tag that they've had for years, and then down, like way down, I suppose, like you have like PewDiePie, I guess, and things like that, and then way down the road they've got this huge, great big, branding, and it's like some gamer tag or Mr. Beast, where it's just
it was the most clever thing I could think of when I was like just out of my 20s.
Yeah. Because it's hard to come up with a name. Like we spent ages trying to come up with a name for some sort of brand, Robin and I, but it's really difficult because everything is taken.
It gets to a point where like words don't sound like words anymore, and you're just like saying things, and you're like, oh yeah, this sounds good. Is that even a word? I don't know.
Yep. No, it's so it's the only thing that's not copyrighted is just nonsense.
Yeah. So we know you through D&D. So when did you start playing D&D? Did you start in college or?
I started when I started playing TTRPGs when I was like 6, because my dad was
wow.
I am a second generation nerd. My dad
nice.
is my dad's an engineer, so
nice.
But he was more like BattleTech and Robotech,
yes.
those sorts of games. But I was so I was like the 6-year-old, like, I shoot my gun, and and I think they just got tired of playing with me because I was just I got ADHD, so I got all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
But when I was 12 or 13, one of my friends had started playing Neverwinter Nights.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, why don't we play the game it's based on? And so we got D&D 3rd edition.
Nice.
Back in ye olde days.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that's when I started, but sort of started. But no, I was maybe a little bit older than 6, so.
Yeah, get in line. Get in my league. So I made a dwarven fighter because I had no originality.
Nice.
And kind of hammering home on my complete lack of originality, I tried to name him after a Warhammer character.
Oh yeah.
But I got the name wrong, and instead of calling him like Gotrek, I named him Gore-Tex.
Oh,
and I
yes.
didn't know that was also like an insulation. So,
Gore-Tex, yes. Yeah.
I didn't know that was a lining you put in coats.
Yeah. No, it's a big thing. It's like a big thing for like walking shoes and things like that, isn't it? They're all like all about that stuff.
It sounds like a cool name though.
It's heat retaining and it's waterproof.
Yeah.
2 attributes I think of when I think of a fearsome dwarven fighter.
Well, yeah. Why not? It sounds like it could be named after a dwarf. It's
I'm sure it was intentional.
If this was modern day Sauce, that probably would have been intentional.
Yeah. That's the thing. When you start playing, you want to run through the stereotypes because you've got to do it, even though people go, oh yeah, I have no originality, I'm playing a human fighter or a dwarf fighter, but it's good to do it. At least once.
It's like when you go to like New York City or any other kind of major metropolitan place, you want to see the touristy spots first. And I think it's the same when like you play D&D. You want your first character to be like Lord of the Rings, and then maybe make your next character I don't know, based on a pun or
Willy Wonka, just
Willy Wonka or
mixed with Jack Sparrow and
Cool Spot from the mid 90s.
Cool Spot, I can't believe you dropped that reference. I loved Cool Spot from the 7-Up stuff.
Exactly. Everyone loves Cool Spot.
Oh my god. Were you into like the Spot Goes to Hollywood? Did you ever play that game?
There was the SNES one, and then I think there was one on the Genesis.
Oh, you know your shit. Yeah. So there was 2 versions.
I had an SNES. And I did play Cool Spot. because it had a great
Such a good game.
soundtrack.
Such a good game. Yeah, such a
Yeah.
good game. Where is Spot? Like, where has he gone?
I don't know, but I think they got rid of Cool Spot to bring in one of the Wayans brothers.
What?
And he had it. Yeah, it was. I want to say before the Scary Movie franchise,
Uh-huh.
but they just had one of the Wayans brothers, and he would like walk down the street, and he had this shirt that said "Make 7," and then on the back was "Up Yours."
Oh, yeah,
And
I
then
don't remember that campaign.
The joke was he'd go down the street and people passing would just be like, "Up yours."
Yeah,
And
it's
that was their entire campaign.
yeah. Because what was weird about Cool Spot in the UK, I think back then, like we didn't get the actual ad campaign that was with it, you know. So it was just like, oh, we literally just got this. You know, you went down. Yeah, this is back in the day where I used to go down to Blockbuster, and yeah, pick up Sega Mega Drive games or PlayStation games, and yeah, I always pick up Cool Spot, and then Spot Goes to Hollywood. And like you said, 2 versions. But now I want to make a D&D character based on
You had both
Spot.
versions.
Because he used to do. He didn't really speak, did he? He used to do like these little squeaks. You know, I don't know why they made him squeak. And he used to throw marbles. What was the marbles about?
No, I think I think those were bubbles.
Were they
'Cause,
bubbles?
there's,
Because of soda.
Because
Yeah.
he's a soft drink. Yeah.
Oh, that makes
carbonation.
way more sense. So I'm sorry, Robin is like.
I don't know. I have
What?
no idea what you're talking about.
Should we explain?
What
Probably
was
half
he?
the people listening won't
No,
even know what
no,
we were talking about.
Hadrian's Wall kept out all the 7-Up.
7-Up. Yeah, we got it. We got an England growing up. You didn't get it.
If you go to the wall, there are just cans and cans of soda stuck at the wall.
Soda people graffitiing Cool Spot on the English side, you know. Yeah, Robin, Cool Spot was like a mascot for 7-Up that they made a video game out of, and he was literally, you know, the 7-Up like just this. He was just a spot, so he's like a red spot, and he had like the coolest shades on, and he had like, you know, little arms, he like Mickey Mouse kind of arms with like.
Oh, I didn't know they made a game out of that.
Yeah.
I'm here for the listeners.
You speak for the listeners.
It's probably good actually. Robin. Yeah. So yeah, I think. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh right. Did you just see?
I'm learning about this. There was Cool Spot, which was the SNES game.
Yes.
Then Cool Spot, the video game, which was for the Amiga, the Atari, the DOS, Game Boy, NES.
So was the first one the one where it started out with like the wipeout music and he's like surfing on the bottle? That was literally like the open screen was just him, and it's like
that would make sense. The Mega Drive version has him on a surfboard.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my goodness, I am learning so much about Cool Spot
it was weird because there was one for the Mega Drive that was Spot Goes to Hollywood, and then I remember getting a PlayStation 1 and being like, oh, we stopped renting games, we started buying games, and I was like, oh, there's Spot Goes to Hollywood, but it's on the PlayStation, cool, and we got it, and it was like a completely different game, which was a nice, it was good because it was, you know, playing a new game, but I was like, what happened to the old one?
Yeah, it was. It was like there was the platformer, and then there was Spot, the video game. And then here we go. Cool Spot Goes to Hollywood was.
Yes.
Oh my god, this one looks dope.
Yeah, it was such a good game.
What did I miss out on?
Oh my god, so we're gonna have to play it, but I don't know. We have to find an emulator or something because it's great.
I'll have to find a totally legitimate copy of it.
Yeah, he basically Spot. I mean, I think the first rendition of it is just you going through a load of like sort of faux movies, but then the second one, which had like, you know, proper PS1 graphics, the best ever, and clunky 3D-ness as well, and basically Spot was just in this movie theater and he like jumped from like movie reel to movie reel, and he was in like a pirate adventure, then he was in like Jurassic Park one, and then he was in
also the plot to Beautiful Joe. Are these connected?
I've no idea. But yeah, it's probably.
Beautiful Joe. I have it right here? Question mark. I have it somewhere.
Oh, and the bubbles actually make sense now because he does start that game.
Let's say one of these is Beautiful Joe.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, there it
Yeah.
is. There's beautiful Joe. I know exactly. I know exactly.
For those of you listening, I just pulled out Beautiful Joe.
Yes. Yeah, totally. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Sorry, I like followed the link through that you'd sent us, and then I've like ended up, finding a Twitch channel that just plays Cool Spot, and that's all they do.
What?
And it's very recent.
What?
So
Give them a shout out.
and those do
Yeah.
look like they are called Cool Spot.
Oh, what? Okay. Well, there you go. Cool Spot. Go follow Cool Spot. You've just got a free plug. There we go.
There you go. Go follow twitch.tv/coolspot.
And it looks like they played Cool Spot for 5 hours and 45 minutes.
Wow. I mean it's an old like you say NES and Mega Drive games. That's probably just the entire game.
That's a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
I hope it's like every single day, just Cool Spot.
Yeah, just keep replaying it over and over again.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
They were
And those
difficult
do
games.
look like bubbles.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it's just that's obviously just a
They
recent
look very bubbly.
It's just a revelation I've had today. It's just like, oh, I think they were bubbles. Of course they were bubbles. That makes so much more sense. I was just like, where is he keeping all these marbles? He just keeps throwing
It's
them up.
because he once drank a glass of 7-Up that had a bunch of marbles at the bottom.
Yeah, maybe. I know. I just always I thought I assumed that marbles would like actually hurt things that you threw them at, but
Well, it depends what the bubbles are filled with.
Yeah.
that's a good point. So
Like-
what class and what class would Cool Spot be if he were to be a D&D character? If he's throwing bubbles.
I'm guessing a bard, just because he would have that high maybe warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, warlock with his patron is 7-Up.
Yes, big soda.
And that's Eldritch Blast.
Who owns 7-Up? Is it PepsiCo or is it?
It's Pepsi.
Yeah,
and,
PepsiCo. There we go.
Coca-Cola owns Sprite.
Yes. So it would just be like, yeah, we've got big PepsiCo as my as my patron. Because his bubble could be like his tiny hut, or just a bottle.
It's just a bottle. There you go.
You could like float about inside it instead of having Bixby's hand. It's
Yeah, because he did float. Because that makes total sense. Because at the start of like Spot Goes to Hollywood, he shows up in a bubble. So I don't know why I never made that. I don't know why I never made that connection.
Why is he showing up in a marble?
Why didn't I have the world figured out when I was like 5 playing those games?
oh yeah. When I was playing that, I'm like, yeah, it's bubbles. Ever since then, it's just been higher and higher.
Yeah, exactly. So D&D. When did so you played from an early age, right?
I played Cool Spot, and that got me into D&D.
That got you into D&D. You went, you know what? I played some D&D. You know what? This really makes me want to play is Cool Spot, and vice versa.
This makes me so thirsty. I looked this up.
So after the Cool Spot fan fiction D&D, have you played continuously since you were 6 up to this point?
No. I was about 12 or 13 when I started playing D&D. Then I took a bit of a break, and I only got back into it about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
After a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
But I started watching. This has got a little tangential. I told you this was going to happen.
Not at all. Not at all. Really? It's fine.
It all happened when HBO started airing Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah.
And at the time, I had a lot of spare time on my hands, so
Yes.
I read all the books. And you'd think this would be where the D&D adventure would start. You'd be wrong. I'm like, oh gosh, I have so much free time on my hands because I'm going to be waiting who knows how long for the next book. I'm going to pick up a new book series.
Still waiting.
That will, tide me over until then.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up the Kingkiller Chronicles, thinking, surely this book series will, by the time I finish this series, there's still one book remaining, Game of Thrones will pick up. And it might, because book 3 has been, of the Kingkiller Chronicles, has been delayed for like the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still waiting on that, but I went to one of Pat Rothfuss's Twitch streams, because he's a Twitch streamer. And he also played at the time with the Penny Arcade people for Acquisitions Incorporated as Viari. And I think the episode I watched was with him and Tristan Falcone and Mike and Jerry, and I'm like, hey, I like D&D again.
Yeah.
Like these,
Yeah.
like all they're doing is goofing around and having fun.
Yeah.
They're trying to make each other laugh, and I'm like, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I should look for a table, but I didn't know where to look for a table, so I just went to Tristan Falcone's Twitch channel and was like, hey, I'm thinking about getting a table together.
Nice.
So I hadn't DM'd up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically just been DMing. I think I played maybe a handful of times. But yeah.
Yes, it sounds like you did a similar thing to because I think a lot of people did. Either they only picked up recently because of similar reasons, or they were playing and then a lot of people like skipped over like 4th edition and discovered it again. Because I think we do owe a lot to the D&D streamers, and we'll definitely start talking about it in a second. But yeah, for me, I discovered streaming. It was Critical Role for me, which was easy to come across. But I think it sounds like the same thing, correct me if I'm wrong, drew you to it, was the social side of it, and the role playing, and this is how fun it can be, instead of
I had picked up the books for 5th edition when they were first released. In fact, because of various reasons, I have 3 copies of the Monster Manual.
Well, yeah, that's the minimum amount anyone should have, obviously.
You need them all on hand. But I just never played them because I've got quite a bit of social anxiety. So actually going to a store and playing was never that much fun.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Because I had, maybe it's just I had a bad experience most recently.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the table at my friendly game store, which wasn't that local because I had to drive about 40 minutes both ways. So,
support your local store.
A little bit of a drive. But like at the minute I was there, I told him like I'm playing a paladin. He's going to be of whichever god is the god of currency I knew at the time. And the guy just beside me, he was only like 16, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fine. There's kids at least. Like I think most of them were pretty young.
Yeah.
Either that or I just trend really old. But he's just like, oh, so you're a paladin of the Jews. And I was like, whoa, I don't know you.
Oh dear, okay, yeah.
And just really gross.
Yeah.
So that was my last experience playing at a friendly local game store.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's improved.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
pre-COVID?
Yeah, I mean, what's good about playing online, and I do envy people that have just a solid group of people that are local to them, that they've been friends with for years, and they've been playing the same game for years and years and years. That's awesome. But for most of us, having the internet be a large pool of people to pull from instead of just a concentrate is far better, and it's way easier to find the right people to play with.
Yeah, you can kind of cast a wider net. And also the kind of the advantage of being a dungeon master is that everybody needs a dungeon master right now.
Yes.
And if they ever make any anti-Semitic comments, I just don't have to play with them.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's having that bigger pool of people and being like, and you can set the boundaries so much easier on the internet. And that doesn't mean just because it's on the internet you have to like stream. It's easier to be like, right, I'm in my local area, literally go on to whatever it is, Discord or Facebook or Instagram or a local Twitch streamer or a local gaming store, and be like, hey, I'm looking to run this type of game. Hit me up if you want to know what kind of game I'm running. Or it's way easier now than I think it used to be.
Yeah.
And also it's a lot easier just like organizing.
Yes.
Not even just like the finding people to play with, but saying we're playing on Tuesday, it's a lot easier to convince somebody, oh, we're playing Tuesday for 2 hours from the comfort of your home. You don't have to get up.
Yeah.
Compared to like, blocking off an entire night for it.
Yeah. There's good parts and bad parts to both. I think because we started playing physical, like in person, and it's great, but the downside is that it becomes like it's a big event. It's like, we're here for the week, and then everyone turns up, and then some people are turning up a bit late, so you're all there, and then conversations start as you're waiting for like 2 or 3 people to turn up, and then those conversations keep going, and then gossip starts, and then they're like, oh yeah, who's hungry? Oh yeah, we should get food, and then food comes.
I'm so glad I don't have to feed my players.
Yeah, food comes, and I mean, the one thing in the table, it can be good or bad, I guess, is that you get like interplayer chatter at the table, which can be good, like I say, but also it means there's way more distraction, and so that does elongate things instead of everyone being focused on, we're all playing the game,
I think as well, like sometimes if you're someone who like struggles to focus or to sit still and like look really engaged for a long period of time, and you're someone who likes to like sit and fiddle with something and things like that, it's a little bit easier to do that online, because first of all, you don't appear like you're being rude or anything at a table, but
you're scrolling through Facebook on your screen.
you're able to stay focused on the game while also like adhering to the sort of fidgety side as well.
Wait a minute, I can see in the reflections in your eyes that you're currently on Twitter.
You're currently on Twitter. You're currently playing another game of D&D.
You're in a different interview.
I cast Fireball.
Yeah.
Oh always, shit, wrong mic.
Yeah, exactly. Always be suspicious of the player that turns up and goes, oh, my mic's broken in the text chat. I'll just be that they're playing another game at the same time.
I knew it all along.
So when did you transfer from? Because I'm assuming you then played. You ran. So you got your group together, and then you ran it. I'm assuming it wasn't a stream game, or was it a stream game? And you just went straight in.
It was not a streamed game. It was an Acquisitions Incorporated game, because at the time, that's all I knew.
Nice, yeah.
And it was really just an excuse to run them through a different game I had run, or I had not run, but written up. So I ran them through that. And then it wasn't until, believe it or not, my first streamed game was... Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember if it was Beach Patrol happened first. No, Beach Patrol happened first, and then Mercy Road.
Okay, yeah.
The first one was Baldur's Gate Beach Patrol, which I had this idea. I just wanted to do like a little 6-part series.
Yes.
And it would be set on Baldur's Gate, and it would be, instead of like the guards or like knights, no, they were the people responsible for guarding the beach.
Nice.
So I drew upon the one of the wells I go to a lot, which is Baywatch.
Yes, of course.
One of the wells.
It's a well I drink from often. Yeah.
And I had actually asked Kate Welch this. I said, would it be funnier if all of the adventures were beach related, or none of the adventures were beach related? And I think she just responded with like, you know the answer to this question.
You just want everyone to come in and be like, why is it called Beach Patrol? Why is it called Beach Patrol?
So like the first episode, like the first episode was like the bait. And then there was the switch later. So the bait was the entire beach got stolen.
Okay.
There was just a big cavernous void where the beach once was.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And somebody stole it to make a giant sandcastle.
Yes, love it.
And then after that, it was like, oh, this murder happened, but it happened by the water, so the Beach Patrol has jurisdiction. And then there was another episode where the deputy harbor master was just getting married, and he didn't have anyone to attend the wedding on his side, so he got his coworkers to come with him. After that, it was there was something wrong with the beach trees.
Nice.
So, you know, they were infested with beach bark beetles.
Yes. They're like, that's your jurisdiction because it's
yeah, it's beach.
I love that. I love that.
And then there was an episode where they had to go to the moon because there was something wrong with the Sea of Tranquility.
Of course. The sea
which had the beach.
Yeah.
I don't know why this was a very serious show. I'll have you know.
Yeah. But like, all jokes aside, pun intended. Like you're obviously you obviously have a comedic mind. You're a funny dude. So like, when you did, like, because it kind of sounded like you wanted to. Did you want to run a game to start with, or were you like, oh, I want to play D&D, therefore I'll run a game, or did you have these? You know, did you want a creative outlet and go, I have an idea for games, therefore?
I think it was like, I don't see a lot of people running games that like I would always wanted to run the games that I would want to have been part of, and the kind of games that I've always been a part of. You know, it's like making jokes, it's having fun. And if I can extend that not just to the people actively participating in it, but actually watching it, then I know I've done something well. But even then, even in like in school and high school, I was always trying to get people to laugh. I was the ADHD problem child, so you know, I know where my strengths lie, and I think you know, doing quick improvisational jokes is one of them. And frankly, I know there is a place for people who do like very, very serious, like, oh, you go into the castle of the Jarl, and he snarls at you and bites into a horse's heart, spitting it out in front of you. I know there's a there's a space for that, and even then, like sometimes I'll put that on and watch that, just because you shouldn't just consume one kind of media, but the kind of media I like watching is where people are just trying to make each other laugh and trying to break each other out of character, trying desperately just keep a straight face. And I think those are always, at least in my experiences, the kind of experiences that last the longest with people.
I mean, I've definitely, because I'm definitely in that. I'm definitely in on your page of the song sheet when it comes to role playing. I like to make people laugh and be spontaneous, and it was definitely detrimental in one game we were in where there was no communication between what the DM wanted to run and what type of story the DM wanted to run, because they never gave us any guidance on, when you make characters, make sure that they want to do this and they want to be heroes, but just simply something like that. So this person made this campaign that was all serious, and we just made a load of sitcom characters, and it just didn't didn't gel, and you could tell that it was just all over the place. So that the story was always hanging there, and none of our characters had any interest in anything that was being dangled in front of us, because we just wanted to. We just wanted to sit in the pub and just flirt with each other and everyone else. It was just fun, and make innuendos and do silly stuff and play with dogs and herd cats and it was that would have been a good campaign if everyone was on the same page, but they weren't.
I found even when I set those kind of establish that sort of thing with players, sometimes it just wouldn't click. But I mean, that can be good too. That kind of because what is funnier than a gear just spinning in place wildly? So like I realized about maybe 2-3 games into one of the campaigns I was running, it's like, these people will probably never take it 100% seriously. So how can I kind of turn that on itself? So like originally their job was to go to the 10 towns in Icewind Dale and endear themselves to the local populace. And because they were a bunch of crazy murder hobos, that went sideways in the most delightful ways possible. but much to the detriment of the entire of all the communities of the 10 towns. So it eventually ended with like a bunch of the cities that they had all basically destroyed, trying to secede from the 10 towns and form their own towns.
Yeah, nice.
And then that resulted in one of the games being, okay, now you have to run for local office. And you have to campaign. And
it's interesting, isn't it? Because that's one big difference between being a player. Because as a player, you can totally be that type. Because as a player, I like doing the whole. I don't like to prepare. I mean, I hate even just writing backstories. I just like to be like, right, go, and then we'll see what happens on the improv, because that's where it's. And I just find the most entertainment. But then as a DM, you've got to be like, well, I have to prep. I have to do some sort of prep. But then I can't get married to the prep, and I want to do like improv. So, like you were saying there, you've got to be like, okay, well, I've got to prep. I've got to have an idea of what my players are going to be doing, but also I can then be like improv and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to be upset that they've become murder hobos and they've done that to the 10 towns. Instead, I'm going, right, I'm going to put 10 towns in front of them, and then what happens? I'm just going to improv out.
I learned my very first game. I wrote 11 pages of prep.
Yeah.
And that is
guilty. Yeah, I've done that type of
thing.
I've
done. I think we've all done that. And I've learned. I'm like, oh, but what happens if they ask the Dragon Knight about his history?
Yeah.
I learned that very rarely happens.
Yeah.
And I learned that the stuff that would stick. I learned the stuff that would stick the most keenly with my players was stuff I would just make up.
Yeah.
Like in one of my second game, I had again, not 11 pages, but I had like, I think 5 or 6, and my players had. I couldn't get my players to engage with one aspect of it.
Yes.
But what they wanted to do was. This guy had just been murdered.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to find out who had done it. And then they decided to go talk to the guy's widow. Because I think I had just made an offhand joke about him having a grieving widow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, whoops.
Yeah, you dangle that in front of them, yeah.
I'm like, whoops, I forgot all about this. So I decided that the widow would be obsessed with their cat.
Yeah.
And like the entire top floor of their building was just dedicated to the cat. So there'd go in, there'd be all these Baroque oil paintings of the cat. And then one of them eventually used Speak with Animal, and the cat was just like, get me out of here. And this is all just me like, I don't know. And now there's a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the stuff that they've remembered the most from that. They didn't remember like, oh, I detailed how the barrels were staved.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, I've totally find that. I totally get that completely, because there's because I like to run like published stuff, but then like you say, it's all prep, it's all there. And you're like, oh, this is the important stuff. But the players tend to just remember the funny like polar bear that you came up with. And that's the thing that sticks, is the thing you just came up with the top of your head, and it sticks. And then years later, people are still making references to the random polar bear that you came up with on the spot.
Bear.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a pretty good polar bear.
It's a pretty good polar bear.
It was really nice.
Yeah, but that's where people have fun. So after that first game, then you started Mercy Road, which is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where we kind of first met you, Sauce, actually, was through Mercy Road.
Yeah.
Was it so Mercy Road 2, right, Robin, you played in, yeah?
Yes, it was my first ever streamed D&D game.
Yeah. An honor.
So this is my understanding is a charity D&D stream that you run for 24 hours, and you've done 3 of them, right?
I have done 3.
3 of them.
I just recently reconvened with the super secret Mercy Road strike team to start hashing out Mercy Road 4.
Nice. So, I mean, what? Because it's great, and I'm a massive fan of it, and I'm a massive fan of you for doing it. However, I have to ask, what possessed you to want to do that?
Okay.
Because you like I say, you don't expect your players to go for 24 hours. You are just DMing for 24 hours.
I would never wish that upon somebody.
You're like, that's unreasonable.
Yeah.
But I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Well, I know I can be like, okay, then you go into the room and there's a goblin. His name is Rob Boblin.
Rob Boblin.
And the players will be like, okay, I go over here and I do this. And I decided that Rob Boblin's going to come with us. No, don't do that to Rob Boblin.
Please don't do it.
Please don't do it. What does Rob Boblin sound like? It's me, Rob Boblin. No, I can. What possessed me? Okay, this is probably where this is going to take a dour note.
No, this is an important piece of work that you do. We were interested.
Yeah. No, the month before the very first Mercy Road, when I was of the mindset that I could do this all myself, my cousin passed away.
Mm-hmm.
She had had a relapse of breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and passed away. And I think pandemic had just started, and I was like, I am so bored and sad.
Yeah.
What if I took these things and tried to just distract myself with something? So I'm like, okay, what if I ran a charity game? People love charity.
Yeah.
So I started working on Mercy Road, and I originally just kind of threw it out there as a, hey, what if I did this over on my Discord?
Yeah.
And one of the people on the Discord was just like, okay, I'm going to tell everyone on the Penny Arcade channel you're doing this now. And I'm like, well, guess I'm doing this now.
I'm doing it now. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea. When you have an idea, it's a good idea to tell people because they hold you accountable then, if you don't do it.
If you have a half-finished idea, tell everybody about it immediately.
Yes. Then you have to do it.
And then you have to. And if you don't, you'll feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's the lesson from today.
That's your lesson from today. Yeah. Take it from me, kids. Take it from me, kids. Bob Goblin. So the very
wasn't your voice different earlier, Mr. DM? Who's been DMing for 23 hours.
And the fourth one now.
So I was just the very first year we couldn't even find enough people to fill all. It was only 32 spots. Yeah, because I think each game was like, I think it was 8, 16, 24, 32. So it was 8 games, 4 people each. We couldn't find enough people to fill.
Wow.
So some people were like, hey, I'm gonna play twice. And I'm like, cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
thanks. And our initial goal was $500.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we broke that in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Things have sort of picked up since there.
Yeah.
The next year, we filled up so quickly. I think we filled up all 32 spots in less than an hour. So we decided to open it up to 40 people in total. And that filled up like within another hour.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I'll keep that in mind for next year. So I'll know what to do. And then it filled up in like 5 minutes.
Oh my God. When your spots opened up for the third game, Oliver and I were streaming. We were in the middle of a D&D stream. And we stopped early for a break so we could sit and refresh.
I came into the channel and was like, guys, you gotta make it.
You gotta make it, girl.
Like, I'm refreshing it like crazy to try and get in there.
And Ollie's just like, go on without me.
Go on without me. I know you were like, oh.
Share it.
I mean, not that I was like, oh, I don't want to be in it, but Rob was like, oh yeah, well, I was in it last year, so I guess you can be in it. Oh, that's not my Robin voice. But he's like, I guess.
That was more Marge Simpson, but yeah.
He's like, oh, well, I was in it last.
I gotta be in this show.
Oh no! Why are there pig tracks on the ceiling? You're like, you were in it last year. I'm sorry, I was in it last year. You can be it. And I'm like, it's fine. Don't worry. I will be it. Also, because it's like, obviously, by the time the better spots for your game is obviously like the last spots, because it's then like early mid-morning for us here. So, and
Oh, 'cause we were at a convention.
yeah, we were. Yeah, we were at a
at
convention the day before.
We were cosplaying at a convention, and we came back like, oh my! I must have. We made it so that we came back like the night before, slept, got up early, and then just straight into it.
Yeah.
Because
I appreciate your dedication.
Yeah. So the way you run, and it's pretty much been the same apart from that you've made it to the 3-hour like games, right? So the way it works is that you're DMing from start to finish, and you have groups come in, and do they run through the same kind of adventure, or does it pick up one after the other? Is it like a fresh start with each new group, or is it just like, oh, this is the story?
The first year it was actually no, every year it's been one contiguous story basically. So it's kind of like a relay race.
Yeah.
With one group passing it off to the next one. It was a little more episodic this year because I wanted to do a bunch of Christmas themed stuff, and it was a little hard to kind of smoosh together properly.
Yeah.
But Mercy Road 1 was they were all looking for various artifacts that were stolen from the Crypt of Mercy or something, just because I needed to jam in the word mercy there somewhere.
Yeah, mercy in there somewhere.
Mercy, whatever. And next year it was somebody had lost or had forgotten to pick up one of the items in one of the games, so I'm like, okay, that's a MacGuffin this year. And everything was just like finding clues about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then last episode was trying to save Yule. And then next year's episode, well, you'll have to see.
Yeah, go check it out. Oh. We'll have to wait and see and find out.
Only one way to find out that we do have a name.
Make sure you tune in.
What's that? What's the name?
I will give you a hint. If you go and watch the Draw for Charity stream, I did a game with Holly Conrad and my good friend Patrick McNamara and Joe Hills. There is it was originally going to be titled Mercy Road 3.5, but we kind of I think just skipped around that. But there is a major reveal that will be apparent to people who watch that.
Yes.
And there will be a certain character returning. But who will it be? You'll have to wait.
You have to watch out. Also, you have to go back and watch that stream. Also, otherwise you'll have no idea what's going on. It's the big reveal. It's like the post credits of a Marvel film. It's like that gives you the clue. Gives you the clue for the next one.
Nick Fury steps out. Steps out of the shadows.
It walks up to the Corgi Paladin. We need you for a team. We're building a team.
Some pancakes.
Some pancakes.
Honestly, I do admire your ability not only to go for the 24 hours, but to every time a new group comes in, you just seem like super fresh and just like you don't skip over any of the things for each group from what I've noticed, which I think is really incredible, because like the first year that I joined you, I was terrified. Never streamed D&D.
Yeah, because that's the first time you've ever been on stream playing.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And you came on, I thought it's near the end. He's going to be so tired. And you gave this whole lovely big, safety speech. You went through everything. And I was like, oh, I feel so calm and relaxed. I can play now.
I got you.
I was like, yeah, I felt looked after.
Yeah, I actually forgotten about that, Robin. Yeah, that was your first ever experience streaming D&D, right?
I knocked the internet out 10 minutes before the game started.
No, yeah. In fact, I actually know. Yeah, I remember that. I remember you going, "Oh my god, no! I've ruined Sauce's game."
I've ruined his game. I've ruined the whole Charlie stream.
He's 18 hours in, and I've ruined it.
I would actually just go on camera and be like, I'm sorry, everyone, but Mercy Road is over.
Mercy
We're
Road is
gonna have to
over.
return all the money.
You have to return all the money.
Internet router out and can't find the wire.
Yeah. But I mean, that is definitely, when we're talking about DM styles, prep versus improv, I mean, I assume you have to be a comfortable DM with that many people, because you can't prep for a 24-hour game, especially when people come at you with rules that I've never followed. But it's like, oh yeah, you got to do like 2 hours of prep for every 1 hour of play, and it's like, can you imagine? You know, it's like...
So I think I harkening back to when I said I had 11 pages of prep my first game. I've knocked that back to 1 page of prep.
Yeah.
And
for Mercy Road, or just general. For everything. Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Even less in some cases if I know what I'm doing. If it's like, if I've played with this group of players for like X many years, I'm going to be like, yeah, I can just wing it.
Yes.
But for Mercy Road, it's 1 page of prep per game. So I have I have my Word doc open with basically this is the beginning, this is the end.
Yes.
Everything in between that is
connect the dots. Throw a dungeon in, throw a dragon in. It's all good.
It's just an ellipses, and then this happens.
Yeah, they'll get it. So because we didn't, we didn't know you when the first Mercy Road was on. So what changed apart from making it like more games for the next one? What else did you did you come out and be like, right, I definitely need to change the timings or make sure I eat more, or was there anything that you went like, that has to change? Because the first time must have been rough.
The first time was definitely really rough because I didn't know what I was getting into. I learned that I need to actually prepare more for the overnight games just because I can't really keep drawing from that one well.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's actually been pretty, aside from knowing when to caffeinate.
Yes.
It has actually stayed pretty pretty much the same.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I lowered the games were originally 4 hours each.
Yeah.
Which I realized was not really that great for improvisational comedy.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons I knocked it back to 3 hours each, even though I knew it would mean more work. It would make for more entertaining games and would keep me engaged longer.
Yeah.
Then Mercy Road 2 and 3, there wasn't that much of a change between the two of them in how I approached it.
Yeah.
Beyond like knowing where I would need my help.
Yeah.
So like getting people to sponsor games, that is not my strong suit, because when people say no to me, I turn into a mushy little ball.
Yeah.
I just it's like, would you like to sponsor my game? And then I get no answer, and I'm just like, it's because they hate me.
Everyone hates me.
Why does D&D Beyond hate me?
Why? No. Hey, this is the thing. But the thing is, like, there's so many people that hit it really big, and they'll tell stories of like, we reached out to so many people, and they we didn't get a response. Mainly, and then years later it's like, oh, I mean, there's stories of investors being like, oh yeah, 15 years ago I had an email from someone called Air Bed and Breakfast, and I ignored it, asking for like a small investment, and it's like, whoops. Didn't realize that. Never take it personally. So.
Yeah, never take personally. That is actually some really good advice.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hear a lot of no's from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear even more lack of responses from people.
Yeah.
And so I now have somebody basically to do the brand outreach.
Yeah.
Her name's Ellison. If you've ever won something off of a Mercy Road, it's been because of her. She's amazing.
Oh, Robin, Robin, you've won stuff, right?
Ooh.
I won a voucher to, it was Eldritch, and I won one to Wormwood Gaming, and I won a Steam code as well. And this is what I bought with my voucher. It's a cool little, Oliver's got one as well. It's a cool wooden dice stand. It smells so good.
Yeah, I put it together because it came not constructed. So for audio,
it was just a block of wood.
Yeah, it was just a block of wood. You know, it's a block of wood, and it's just like, do something with this. Wow, it really is raw. So for people listening, it's like a little dice display stand, made of wood, and it came basically like a little jigsaw, like. Put it together and then wood glue it together, and I put it together wrong 3 times because Robin and I had the same thing, and Robin was like, just me being me, I looked at the piece of paper that had words on it that apparently told you how to do it, and I threw it away and went, I can figure this out.
Like, it's broken, it doesn't fit. I was like, you've got it on upside down. It was like, how have I got it upside down? I was like, well, there's numbers on it, and that the numbers tell you which way to put it. And
that's what they
how
are.
do I know that? And I was like, there's pictures in the instructions. The what?
The what?
Whose side are you on?
It's the fact that I just opened it up on the couch and went, it's together, done. I put it aside and started watching TV.
Yeah, it took me an hour to put it together.
Trying to squash it.
Smashing 2 parts together, they catch on fire.
Yep.
Literally, there's so many bits on this.
And I'm going to use loads of wood glue and then put it together wrong. I'm going to have to take this apart now, but no, it's glued.
One spot of wood glue for the base, done. And he's like, the whole tube.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's good though that you've got to a stage now where you've got people to help, because I mean that's the thing. A lot of it is delegation, especially when you're running a game for that long. You have to think about all that type of stuff, like prepping. And do you have people to help organize the logistics of players and getting information out to players? And like you say, it's become a little bit of a mad dash to get everybody in who wants to be in, because you've just got an open, do you want to be in it, or you have the past few years. Have you got anyone now or before to sort that?
The good news is that's still me. We're going to be fiddling with the selection process, which is something we're going to be talking about when later on.
Yes.
The good news is a lot of that sort of stuff I can more or less handle. Asking people for character sheets, people who don't who are truant, I can.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
It was me this time.
It was all you.
I forgot. You were like, "Hi, I just want. Could you send me that character sheet? It was due a week ago," and I was like, "Shit."
It's fine. I've only got 40 players to chase up, but you take your time, Robin. It's all good. It's fine.
I was gonna wing it in the morning.
It's when it's 40 players, there's an issue, and asking for character sheets is more or less just making sure they actually want to play.
Yes.
And the reason I wasn't too worried, and the reason I was being so kind of a soft touch, is because I kind of figured you would want to play.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was going to be an instance of I'm going to kick her in.
No, that sounds fair. Actually, because that's the thing, you'll get people that might sign up to these things and genuinely forget or have something else booked, and then they're just like, oh shit, if I've got to put the time aside it takes to make a level 6 or 7 character, then that means I actually want to play.
Yeah. It means you also kind of you've read the rules, so you know that it's a level 6 or 7 character. And if you keep looking at the rules, oh, no magic items, standard array.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the middle of the rules, it's like, oh yeah, don't be transphobic, don't be homophobic. And I kind of, having played with you before, I don't really expect any of that coming from any of your characters.
I'm glad.
Well, that's the thing, because Rob and I are probably pretty similar in that way. yeah, I can sit down and play D&D without even having a character concept in mind, never mind a player sheet, and just be like, okay, go. But if you didn't know that, then exactly, I'm just like, yeah, exactly, a corgi, yeah, which was great, which was yeah.
Honestly, when you were like, can he maybe jump on and just like play a corgi, and like I was like, yeah, sure, and I'm like messaging like Oliver.
I was in my pajamas, yeah.
You said it was pajamas, because we'd been at a convention the night before, so he was like in his pajamas, and I was like, "Are you listening to the stream because they're setting you up?" And you're like, "No, I'm like shaving."
I'm shaving.
One half of your face was shaved on stream.
Yeah, so I just streamed like this
the entire time. No, it's just. Let's set those up to the people who did, to the one person who didn't watch Mercy.
Yeah, I know.
How dare you? And who are you?
Probably I probably need to hear the setup as well, because I was just like, yeah, okay, cool, go.
So one of our players tells me when we're basically getting ready for the stream, oh, I have to go to work, so I'm gonna have to duck out like an hour, 45 minutes before the end of the stream, and I'm like,
And also, yeah, this was like you were how many games in? You must have been like 6 or 7 games in or something, right?
Yeah, that was like 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, it was. You weren't fresh. Like, oh, okay.
Son, I'm always fresh. I was like, I think I'm like, that's fine.
Sure, fine.
Sure.
That was your exact response.
Fine. The world, as my world burns around me.
So I'm like, I'm so glad I have the first front end of this game prepped, or else I'd have no idea what I'd have to do. So I'm just like, Ollie wanted to play. Help!
You're like, is he there?
I just see him walk in the background.
Yeah, I think I was just bringing you coffee or something, wasn't I? I was like, oh, hey.
That's exactly what. Yeah, because you turned out, you like sent me a cup of coffee, and it was like I just saw the cogs turning in your brain, being like.
Well, no, it's because I knew you had a separate camera. I knew you had a mic. I knew you had a good quality camera too, and good quality mic. Plus, you knew how to play D&D.
Yeah, and again, it's like especially if you know a player, or you know a DM, or someone who is okay with just jumping on and being like, oh, I'm not, because some people do have like. They will melt, won't they? If there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, but sometimes people go, oh, I need to like be prepared and I need to know what's going on, and other people just enjoy the whole like, okay, you're a corgi and you have an enemy in front of you, go, and that's all the information I had. I was like, okay, fine.
I figured you were a DM. You'd be used to being in the hut.
Yeah, no, I loved it. Loved it. Yeah, I loved it. But yeah, it's always handy to have people on hand like that as well. If you know people like to jump in and go, oh, yeah, get in.
I want like. What I found really funny was the way that because your character's a paladin, because you like paladin's kind of like your go-to, and it was when you like changed the spell wording around to make it work for a corgi.
I was like, lay on pause.
Lay on pause.
I was like, I had no idea what's happening. So I think who were we fighting? We were fighting like the Grinch or something, weren't we?
The Granch.
The Granch. There we go.
Granch.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that the corgi was apparently their dog or something. So I jumped on, and you're like, oh, all right, it's your go. I'm like, cool. Is there an enemy around me? You're like, there's one in front of me. I'm like, okay. I will attack that enemy, and I attack them, and then you're like, and the Grunch is like, oh, you've betrayed me, and I'm like, oh, have I? I'm okay. Yes, I've betrayed you because you were mean to me. So therefore, I've put my lot in with these folks.
I think he had only recently become awoken. So
right, yeah.
You can paw wave a lot of the stuff away.
Yeah. But so Pancakes now holds a special place in my heart.
Mine too. He's right there.
There he is.
There he is.
I love the trend of corgis within your games, because like the first one that I played, I ended up with 10 corgis from the
Of course.
Yeah, 10 corgis. One of them could speak and had a belt of greater giant strength.
Yeah, and he rode around on a little stegosaurus.
Yeah, he rode a stegosaurus, a little mini stegosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
The good old stegosaurus.
I don't think it was mini. I think it was just a baby. You know, they grow up eventually.
Yes.
You destroyed my concept.
I mean, that's literally why micro pigs became a problem, right? We went, I have a micro pig. Oh, it grew into an actual pig. No, it was a baby pig.
Tarby sitting with all these huge stegosaurus around her, being like, well,
I thought I bought a mini stegosaurus. What I actually bought, when I started feeding it, it got bigger.
It just kept growing.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Wouldn't stop.
But the fact that you've got people coming in, even though you're like, you did say I would never do that to my players, expect them to play for 24 hours. But do you find that it helps you a lot having fresh, keen people coming in every 3 hours? Because surely that must like go, elevate instead of it getting stagnant. Is that what you find, or?
I hope it mixes things up. Also, it kind of helps with donations, not to sound like a little too money grubbing.
No, well, I mean, yeah, charity's good cause, dude. Yeah.
Sorry.
But like, people will be more inclined to donate. Like, they always donate. It's always usually front loaded or rear loaded.
Yes. I get what you mean.
Yeah. It's loaded on either end.
Yes.
So when you get a new set of players in, it always kind of perks back up.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And then just it's a mad dash in the last hour.
Yeah. But it's like, I suppose when it becomes more popular, and I know you said you're in talks of how to figure out the selection process. I mean, you've got to be thinking, that there are certain people online that have a certain reach, and if people want to play, you're going to be like, well, we kind of want those people in, instead of having it a complete free-for-all. If people are wanting to play and they bring eyes to the stream, is that something you think about? Is you go, okay, well, are we looking at people going, oh yeah, well, they want to play, they're bringing eyes to the stream at certain points?
Last year we did do some reach out to players, just because we knew that they would bring eyeballs to the stream. And it actually got to a certain point where I'm like, okay, here's a cutoff, because I still want there to be like an opportunity for my friends to jump in. And what I didn't estimate properly was how many of my friends would want to jump in on that. So it's become kind of a balancing act, trying to make it so the game has room to expand while also giving my friends an opportunity to play. And there are some remedies we've thought of, like either shortening the games so that there's 12 games instead of 8. Or introducing like a lottery system, but some people are like, I wouldn't feel comfortable playing with like a group of strangers.
I guess that's fair.
Because I guess people will be like, oh, we want to be in our like little group. Because do you have I kind of know this answer already, but just for listeners, like, do you have a Discord, or like how far in advance is it before the game that you get the players together so they can kind of like decide their teams and get to know each other?
Why I do have a Discord, the Tartan Moose Discord.
Talking Moose.
But the last few years, the alert that the game is going live is always up on that Discord first. And I always have to cut it back a little bit more and a little bit more. Like, I think the first time it was an hour ahead of time, and everyone on the server just kind of jumped on those available spots.
Everyone's just hanging out.
Which I was like, okay, I guess we're opening it up to 40 people in total.
Yeah.
And this year, I think it was, again, within the first few minutes that all the spots filled up. So
honestly, when you'd announced, because I'm sure that people are like this when it comes to Discord, like having most like things muted. When it came to like getting a couple of weeks out from the dates getting announced, I went onto the Tartan Moose Discord and like unmuted everything. So I was like, no,
everything
ready.
I want to be in. Well, yeah, I don't envy you the job of trying to figure that out. And I hope you come up with something that everyone is happy with.
We've also heard like I have heard and have thought of going more than 24 hours. Either before lower that eyebrow back down. I haven't finished my sentence. It would either be something a little bit. There would be like a trade-off at a certain point.
Okay. Yeah.
So like 24 hours, then I'm down for 12, then up for the last 12 or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Maybe find some DMs I trust, but I'm too much of a control freak. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I remember you like jokingly at one point saying on the streams, be like, you know what, if we hit this amount of donations, I'll just stream for another couple of hours. And you said it as a joke.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
Sauce, no, go to bed.
Go to bed. Did you?
Go to bed.
Yeah. Did you find? Because this is one thing I noticed in Mercy Road 2 and 3. Did you find that once you hit that point where you've got over the hump of being like, right, we're going, and you're just in like a flow state of DMing? Mm-hmm. I know, because I saw you at the end, and like you went a fair bit over Mercy Road 2, and I was like, you're well over 24 hours. Did you actually find it difficult to stop and to be like, that's it?
Mercy Road 3, I found it really hard to stop, just because I just because the players were making me laugh so hard. Like I couldn't, I didn't want it to stop, but I had to be respectful of their time.
Yeah.
It's because Mercy Road 1, and this is the part that gets me, because I was late to start the stream, it only went 23 hours and 59 minutes.
Okay.
And I have never forgiven myself for that since.
Yeah, you should be ashamed.
I should be ashamed. I am.
That is close enough. That is close enough. Also,
waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat.
Also, is Twitch really that accurate with their timings? I don't know.
I didn't think it was.
I don't know.
Apparently so.
No.
I mean, you can't really say you streamed 24 hours.
That one doesn't count.
I can't. No, that was just a test.
Yeah.
But
it seems to be something that I noticed, that people that do like 12-hour streams or this, and they get to that point where they've obviously got over the hump of it, and then it's a struggle to stop talking. It's like, oh, I've forced myself to stop talking. It's like these like ultra marathon runners must be, because their body goes, no, you need to stop running, and then it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now, and then to actually stop must be difficult, and be like, right, okay, I'm gonna wrap up, and then go, stop, go to bed.
But I don't want it to be like 5 minutes, like, because you know how it is with a D&D game, you know. You can get right to the time, or it's okay if you go like 2-3 minutes early or 2-3 minutes over.
Yeah.
Just trying to like land perfectly is a little difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sometimes it stretches out, and you're like, right, this is the perfect moment to put a bow on it, and then someone goes, oh, just one more thing, I want to go and speak to, and you're like, yeah, okay.
Robin's just scowling right now.
I wasn't talking about anyone specific. I was being general.
I was talking to a non-specific person in this chat.
Yeah, it's always difficult to hit that line, especially I imagine on a 24-hour game that is just like, right, we want to finish on like, because I guess you want to finish strong as well, you know, you want to be finished like that
with an epic showdown of good versus evil.
Yeah.
And now Robin's just
got over. She's like, I've had enough. She's like, I was trying to
she's trying to attack you on camera.
Yeah, I was trying to land. I know. No, it's just I was trying to land this podcast, and Ollie just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long are you just going to keep doing these every year now for like forever, or until you get?
I don't know if I have a
bored of it?
choice.
Yeah, yeah,
It's-
because
it's-
people expect you to do it now. This is the thing.
I'm going to keep doing it until it gets bought out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
that is
Wizards,
a good. That's a good. Yeah, that is a good. I mean that it's quite a. I mean, have you been overwhelmed with the the response, because the amount that it's grown in like just basically 2 years, right? You know.
Yeah. The first one didn't count.
Yeah.
No, it would be. It was overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm always worried, like, oh, we can't go any higher than this.
Yeah.
And I was convinced that we would not hit our donation goal this year for Mercy Road 3. I'm like, as long as we raise any amount of money,
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
But it probably still doesn't stop the anxiety when you're seeing that counter and you're like, I kind of wish it was higher.
It's like, oh no, it's 3 a.m. and we haven't made a donation in like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't happen.
I totally get where you're coming from, because I would be the same, but I will say, looking from the outside in, when you're looking at that and you're looking, like you say, because it's usually like front heavy or back heavy, it's like oh, well, they're here, but everyone is going to be donating either at the start or the end. So when it's like a good way through, and especially when it's early hours of the morning or late at night in certain parts of the world, you're like, people are going to be tuning back in for the very end and holding their stuff.
I kind of found that actually, like your last little bit was when people were obviously just like, you know, oh, it's ending soon, you know, what's the target here? How much can we push it over at this point? Or, you know, what can we do to really screw with them at the end of the game?
Man. So the one thing I will give you the insider scoop on is we have discussed actually having granting a player a wish spell for one of the donation rewards, which wouldn't be too bad, because we were giving players luck blades.
Yeah.
And, you know, they had access to wish spells. But the thing that I thought would be really funny is, for an even higher amount, have it so just a viewer can redeem a wish spell.
Oh.
And part of me is like, oh no, that'll never work. But then the other part of me is like, if somebody wants to spend like $200 to like try to troll, like,
whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
Congratulations. The villain explodes. Oh no, there's another villain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's especially if you have, especially if you hone in that selection process of your players and you trust all your players enough that if something like that happens, that you're just like, yeah, okay, so they wish that we were all frogs or whatever, and also we now live in a pond, and it's like, go, you know, and everyone's just like, hey, we're frogs, you know, look at that. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not going to like take away from the. In fact, it's probably going to make it more fun. And like you said, what, you know, part of the downside of that is that you've got a load of upside in donation. You know, I think that's totally fine for a charity game. It's obviously breaking if you're running a campaign. It's completely breaking, but
remember what I said. Whenever you go to a Mercy Road game, you're allowed taking all your magic items back with you to your home campaigns. And
I know.
Yeah, if your DM doesn't allow it, it's because they hate charity.
Yeah, that is the rule.
That's the rule.
I went back with 10 corgis, a baby triceratops, 2 belts of greater strength, and a mech, a bedazzled mech.
So I was so glad that you were in another game, Robin, that the DM allowed that, because you were also in one of my games that was set in Middle Earth, and that probably would have just been destroyed the tone of the game completely.
Destroyed or vastly improved?
Destroyed.
I think Tolkien would have wanted Aragorn to fight Sauron in a battle mech.
I think so. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure if you read the Unfinished Tales of... No.
Christopher
the
Tolkien's
bedazzled pink mech appeared over there.
Yeah, exactly. He does make references to a metal humanoid, which could be, a mech.
What were the Cimmerils? What corgis?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's how they're described. They are beautiful and Sauron obsessed over one. There he is.
Now Sauron there's a whole new image in my head now. It's Sauron with his corgi. Hello.
That's a good name. That's a good name for a corgi. A good name for any dog, actually. Not Sauron. Well, Sauron could be, or Silmaril. Cimmeril. Exactly.
Well, BRB going to the pound.
Yeah. So yeah, like the whole Mercy Road. It's so great. Like you say, like you use that for Mercy Road 1. You use that energy. Obviously, something that was difficult for you, and obviously like you say, the boredom. And it's great that you use that energy to create something that was going to give benefit to people, not only obviously the people that are going to get the benefit from the money that you raise, but also the entertainment value that people bring to it. And I think that's just incredible, man. It's awesome. We appreciate you doing it. Whether obviously we've had fun playing on the game, but it's just I wanted to show appreciation for.
I've appreciated being able to DM for both of you.
It's that's the thing. Like, and the fact that Robin playing in your game the first time, that's obviously connected us to your community, and we've got great friends now that we've met through your community, because your community is. I've got some great people in there, and it's broadened our horizons in D&D and just gaming in general. So
you're like, why can't D&D have corgis in it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just like, I want to write fan fiction for some pancakes.
this changes the whole paradigm.
Yeah, exactly. It's opened my eyes. I mean, I won't be running any 24-hour games anytime soon. Now, I respect you for doing it, but
that bit's mine.
Yeah, I am not. Yeah, I'm. Don't worry. You can totally have that corner of the market. It's like, I mean, to be honest, running a 3-hour game is a bit much for me sometimes.
Oh yeah, I tried doing a 5-hour game recently, not like DMing, but just as a player. That was. By recently, I mean like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's recent.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I'm so tired.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's one thing that happens in in-person games, is that because it is usually, I think, and this is a generalization, but usually it's so difficult to get a group of adults to get their schedules together to meet at a certain place. You tend to be like, right, okay, we're all here. We're finally playing D&D, and it's not a weekly game, because this is one of our experiences. This happened to us, and one of our first 5e games. We're all playing in person. It was like 6 of us or 7 of us. And it's like, right, we've finally got our schedules together. We're going to play this month. And because it's the only time you're playing that month, everyone wants to make the most of it. So you play for way too long. You have way too much food and alcohol, and you stay up way too late.
12 hours and just...
Yeah, we did. We accumulated like 12 hours one night, didn't we? And it was just like...
Yeah.
We played for 12 hours, and then because somebody was so drunk that they couldn't form words. We went to bed, woke up in the morning, carried on playing.
It was just me. It wasn't me like just being totally antisocially drunk.
It was you.
It was everyone.
You were very in character.
I was very in character. Yeah, I was very in character.
Were you playing a drunk?
Yeah, but not intentionally. Yeah. He was drunk because he was being played by me. So. So Sauce, this has been amazing. Thank you very much thank you very much. We're gonna have to do it again. We'll definitely have to have you on to hype up for Mercy Road 4, yet to be named.
Yes. Mercy Road 4 subtitle.
Colon subtitle coming to a Twitch stream near you.
Coming to www.twitch.tv/2have_2role.
Exactly. Yeah, we've
been bought out. I'm free.
I knew this. Oliver is now running a 24-hour charity stream.
No. Part of the contract, the buyout, is all still has to run the game. No. I still won't get that character sheet from Robin.
I play the same character every game. What do you want?
That's true. That's true. Some elven bard. It'll be fine. Anyway.
Bard.
Anyway, thank you for joining us, Sauce. We'll say goodbye to everyone. See you later, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I'm still waving.
Yeah, keep waving. If you enjoyed this show, make sure that you follow and subscribe so you know when a new episode is posted. You can leave a review, you can share it around, it would really help us out, and we appreciate you doing that. And remember, you can catch us live on twitch.tv/2have_2role. That's the number 2 and roll is into roleplay. Thank you very much for listening.